welcome. I'm Nira Berry, the happiness coach, and your host of Happy and Healthy, where we explore and discover all the many ways of keeping you feeling happy and healthy. And don't forget to stay to the end to watch my Good to Know segment, where I've always got something good for you to know. So today we're going to try and really explore and discover all about Qigong, which is a traditional Chinese practice of medicine and healing. So please welcome my guest today, Mike Basdavanos. I really appreciate you being here today. You're a medical Qigong therapist and diplomat of Asian bodywork therapy. So Mike, I really appreciate you being here, and I'd love to find out how you got into Qigong and what interested you about it.
Thanks. Well, it's nice to be here, Nira. Thanks for inviting me. And as just a preamble, I need to thank the ancestors, my teachers, who actually brought me to this place, and most prominently Wang Yan'en, who was my Tai Chi teacher and first initiate teacher into Taoist meditation practice called Qigong. And then Minwu Yang, who taught my other Qigong teacher, John Cole, who was quite well known, and also Robert Smith, who was my first Tai Chi teacher in Washington, D.C. area, and Ted Sibick, who was my medical Qigong doctor, supervisor and teacher. So
okay, wow, you've got a lot of people to thank that brought you to this place, right?
It takes a lot of people to stimulate, and Barbara Escher, who did my first Chinese medicine training in shiatsu. And so all those people, among many, many others.
And you yourself you're a therapist and instructor at the Mindfulness Center of Bethesda, right?
Correct.
So you're also paying it forward to many, many other people. So what inspired you about this?
So I wasn't inspired so much as I followed a track that was already well established of learning martial arts as a kid, and then discovering that it really wasn't about fighting or that kind of thing. It was really about discovering what it is about yourself that gets in your way.
So what is Qigong? Like just what is it, just a general overview?
So if you take the standard definition, Qigong is a mind-body exercise that has to do with sound, movement, and breathing. Any one of those elements could be a Qigong in itself, and in combination they could be a myriad of different practices. And the key thing here is that you're actually paying attention to an energy flow and an energy sense in the body, which we all have and which we recognize once our attention is drawn to it.
Is that what's considered Qi, that term Qi?
Qi is a really big term.
Yeah.
And there's really no...
I know, I've heard it used with so many different modalities. And
it's one of those things that in Chinese medicine we don't translate. It is, in Chinese medicine, it's a fundamental substance, along with blood, which is not the blood that we talk about in Western medicine, and along with spirit, Shen, which we don't use in Western medicine at all, except in psychology, which is really addressing a person's personal spirit.
Mm-hmm. So I've heard the term Qigong used a lot, and Tai Chi. And I know that as far as I know, there are two different practices. But I've heard sometimes that they're interchangeable. So can you clear that up for me?
I'll
for
try.
Our audience.
So the practice of Qigong, which literally means a skill acquired, an acquired skill. That's the Gong part, right? And the Qi is an acquired skill dealing with Qi. Okay? In Tai Chi is actually a different term than Qi. So it's really mispronounced. It's Tai Chi Chuan is the correct pronunciation, and well, maybe not, my Chinese maybe not be correct, but Tai Chi Chuan is the full name, and that literally means yin-yang, or cosmic boxing, or cosmic fist.
So are we talking about Tai Chi?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to
the
make
Chuan
sure
is always left off, right?
Oh, yeah.
Now,
Never
originally,
heard that.
originally Tai Chi Chuan was a martial art predominantly. It was good for defending yourself and protecting people with a lot of money. And gradually, people came to recognize that when they did this exercise, they felt better and they were better. physically,
So it
mentally.
started off being more like a martial arts kind
It
of
was
a practice,
predominantly,
you know, and
yes.
so but when they practiced it over and over, they started feeling.
Yes, it's only been a wellness practice for, I would say, the last 100 years or so, per se.
Interesting.
People would come to actually a Tai Chi teacher before that time for protection instruction for martial art. And then after that time, they would come because their uncle got better from his asthma by doing Tai Chi. And so they would come to practice wellness. And medicine. A medicine is something that makes you better, right?
Yeah.
So whatever it is, laughter is a medicine, right? Laughter
is
is the best medicine, right? It's on the tip of everybody's
Yeah.
tongue. So, by the way, the tip of your tongue is your heart in
Oh.
Chinese medicine. So if you can look at the tip of the tongue, you can assess kind of the quality of the energy of the heart.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I know that there are different types of Qigong, that there's a variety, you know, maybe 6 of them, 7 different types.
Multiply by 10,000.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah. So we have so big categories would be like kind of the idea of Qigong for wellness, right? So there's nothing wrong with you. You just want to be well.
Okay.
That's a wellness Qigong. A Qigong for correcting a pattern of illness or disruption in your life.
Is that what like medical Qigong
That would be
is?
more like medical
Okay.
Qigong or medicine-based Qigong. And
Okay.
somebody would analyze the pattern and then have you do an exercise. And then there could be the idea of well, here's an example. I went to New Orleans and I went to hear the Jazz and Heritage Festival. And on the barge, I was there when Mavis Staples and the Staples Singers were playing. And
nice.
yeah, they were opening for the Neville Brothers, and that was great too.
Yeah.
But Mavis Staples was up on stage, and I was standing far away, and I had done Qigong practice for quite a while by that point, and I was looking, or for a little while actually, and I was watching her, and I was watching her moves and her voice and her energy, and it was very clear that she was exchanging energy with the crowd. So they got this thing going that created an energetic flux. And you could feel it. You could feel it in
Yeah.
every cell of your body. And so that's Qigong.
Yeah.
So this exchange of energy between people and among a group is a kind of Qigong. So I would say that where you start to have a big group, or even within yourself, you have a more coherent kind of wave going through the body. You actually sense it and you feel more comfortable. Or you could say, just look at a cat, right? So you have your cat and you pet the cat, right?
Yeah.
Cat feels great, okay. So you grab the tail of the cat and go this way, and the cat does what?
It kind of squirms up.
Yeah,
scrunches up.
you're lucky if you don't get your hand bitten pretty badly, right? So this feels good,
Yeah.
this feels bad.
Sort of going
So-
against the grain.
Exactly, the coherence of that field. And the cat will stay there dog will stay there all day.
Yeah.
The cat will go whenever it's
Yeah.
ready to go.
So I've also read that there's a Qigong for longevity and a few others. So
So
can you
these were-
explain those?
Yeah, so these were practices that were specialized. And so after a certain point, people would say, well, I've had a family, I've been in the world long enough, I'm going to go a retreat and try to keep my life going at a higher level than just having a regular life. And so extending life meant that you would give up things. So you'd renounce certain kinds of foods, and you go off and you'd meditate, and you do maybe bodywork practices, movement-oriented, maybe massage-oriented, and you would work this way for several years, and you'd be inured to the ravages of time in your body, and you would start to age more slowly. And this is something that we do notice when we encounter people that have practiced for a long time, is that they seem to have about 10 to 15 years younger look and feel and activity than people of their peer group. So
wow.
it seems to slow aging, it seems to do this. And we know now that there's a difference in the DNA when we take samples from people, blood work from people before and after sessions of practice for about 6 weeks or so. We know this from meditation. And so Qigong would include a mindfulness element to it. So that part of it is in the practice too.
So, so that brings me to back to like you're a medical, Qigong practitioner. So, can you explain to us, maybe give us some examples of people that might come in for your help?
Sure. So, if I have a student, a Tai Chi or a Qigong student, and I see that they're having problems with breathing, and so I notice some particular movements are hard for them. So I could say, if you come in for a session, we can tailor the Qigong practice that you're doing to support the activity of your lungs. And so I have, for instance, a student over in Silver Spring who has had lifelong asthma, and he comes in regularly every year after seeing his doctor, and he says, my tidal volume has increased. And he's 75, 85, 80, 75 going on to 80 now. His tidal volume in the lungs has increased every year that he's been practicing. And his doctor is, I don't know what's going on,
so
but
he has more being able to use his lungs to a greater capacity. Is that what
yes,
that
exactly.
translates to? Okay.
Yeah, so this is an asthmatic reversing the asthma, not process, but the result of asthma is you lose tidal volume.
And the
so
doctor
he's
doesn't
increased.
know what it's from, based on nothing else changing other than the
Nothing else,
nothing
no
else.
other difference, just doing Tai Chi regularly.
And this was over how long of a period of time?
This every year for the past 10 years, 10, 12, 15 years. It's been getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
So that's a long-term medicine, right? You're saying, okay, you keep doing this, and if things get better and better and better.
And is this something that we practice every day, or
Ideally.
Ideally, and
You
for
brush
how-
your teeth every day?
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah.
And
This is-
and for how long does it usually, like, what's like the minimum? I'm sure you can do it for hours if you want to continue doing it, but to get it beneficial.
So the typical
response.
standard Chinese, small practice, small result, large practice, large result, right? So the longer you practice, up to a certain point, the more you're going to feel the effects of this as a medicine, as a thing that promotes the energy of your body. Shorter time will give you a shorter result, so you'll get a little bit of a buzz, and then that'll wear off. In acupuncture, they usually say that the effect of an acupuncture treatment, it lasts about 48 hours, and then you need to renew the treatment. So this is like a dosage. With Qigong, you can keep doing that every day and actually keep the treatment going every few hours, every day or so you can accumulate energy over time.
So that's, I guess it goes to show, it translates to everything in life, that the more you do it, the more that your body responds to it, the longer it lasts, just like anything else, and you get all the wonderful benefits, which I look forward to hearing more about and actually demo some of these, because I'm really curious how we can actually utilize this in our lives. So, so we're going to come back. We're going to take a short break. And we're going to hear more about Qigong. So thank you, Mike Basdavanos. I appreciate it. And we'll be here right after the break. So stay tuned.
Hey, Hard, what's this?
That's my resignation letter.
You're resigning. Why?
Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you get stuff like this.
You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately.
That's why I'm ready to quit.
I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me.
Okay, but remember, it's not what you say, it's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Hi, welcome back. I'm Nira Berry, your host of Happy and Healthy, and we're going to continue speaking with Mike all about Qigong, and we're actually going to experience some of it, and you can do this at home with us. So Mike, what's the first thing that you want to show us?
Well, there are 3 exercises, and what I'm going to do is show you exercises to activate the front and back of the body, what we call the governing vessel in the back and the gathering vessel in the front. This is a Chinese medicine term. And then to activate the sides of the body. And so you don't have to know any of the technical
Okay.
jargon behind that, but just know that you're stimulating flows in the body that are intrinsic and they're natural.
And what would be the benefit of doing this?
So what you'll do is loosen up the back,
Uh-huh.
right? And so you want the spine to be nice and flexible. So actually the start of that is to release the calf muscle.
Okay.
So as you stretch the calf muscle, you start to relax the spine. So a very interesting idea here is that the calf muscle also helps you open up the portals of the sensory portals in the head. So going back and forth with just your natural breathing, you can start to get a little bit more open, a little bit clearer in the head.
And do you use this like at the beginning of most classes, or you recommend people do this first thing in the
I do.
morning?
Yes. Yeah, this is the way we start class a lot of times, in Tai Chi and in Qigong class, because this is really a good warm-up and it releases the back. So when we talk about this idea of releasing in Qigong and Tai Chi, we're actually trying to get energy flow. And when energy flows, then the blood goes well and the body can relax. You can relax the tendons and the muscles. So this is what you want ideally, is a relaxed movement that has a flow to it. And then you start to put the breathing to it.
Okay. And this
So-
is something that beginners can do, right? You don't have to have any
Absolutely.
previous experience to do Qigong.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So if you feel that something is going wrong with your practice, you might feel a little dizzy, or you might feel a little bit of heaviness or heat. These things are kind of natural events in cultivating your qi,
Okay.
because what's happening is your body is responding the way its habit is set up. So over time, you'll get rid of the dizziness, you'll get rid of the heaviness, you'll get rid of the heat, and you'll start to regulate and harmonize the body. So this is the first exercise.
Okay.
So the next one is the idea of leaning. So leaning side to side. So start with just, it's almost like a swaying. Your feet are melting into the ground, so you're attached to the ground and leaning with your shoulder. That's it. And you can imagine pulling an energy bubble across underneath your feet through the ground, and feel that sensation as it moves through the body. So this bubble is pretty big. It can go very deep. And once you get that attached feeling into the ground, you circle one arm up and go down the other side. And exhale, inhale. Right. So we don't usually do this kind of movement in our daily life. So when the body experiences this, it wakes it up in a certain way that's unusual.
And just even doing a deep breathing exercise like this, I think is very beneficial no matter what. Even if you didn't do all the movements and everything, that deep breathing has been hailed to relax you, to
And
help
this
you
in
focus.
particular is actually stimulating what we call the lung channel in the body. So which emerges right at your shoulder and goes down to the thumb. So as you pull energy through the arm, you actually stimulate that channel energy. The channel energy is different than the organ energy. So they're both types of qi, but they have different purposes in the body and used differently in treatment. So go the other way now. So balance that off. So what we do normally is stop in between these exercises and just feel the difference of sensation in one arm versus the other, one foot versus the other. And what you'll feel usually is the idea of relaxation and openness and flow within the channel energy and within the muscular structure. So you're looking to go into very deep relaxation, even while you're standing up. And
Sounds like a standing meditation
it
as
is,
well.
absolutely.
Because I do feel, even though we're just demonstrating this, I feel, and I may not be doing it 100% right, but I feel that I'm already feeling a few notches
Yeah.
down, relaxed.
And there you go. Because you're on your way down into a deep meditative state, even in movement. And that's what we call Tai Chi. In the Tai Chi world is meditation within movement. And sitting meditation in the Taoist traditions is movement within quietude. So you're moving energy even though you're sitting quietly. So
And I
that's
really feel when my hands cross over each other, I really feel like a warmth there, almost like as if there's like a body of air, like a bubble or something.
so this is exactly the sensation that we're looking for. And so really what we say is you're actually doing a little experiment here. And I'm telling you to do a movement. And I know pretty much what to expect from the sensation you're going to feel. But without you knowing it, you feel the sensation and you're getting the results. So what we call that is injunction, questioning, apprehension, the sensation, and verification. And so I know the possibilities of what could happen with this movement, and I know that you're experiencing something that I've had other people report
I can feel my
thousands of times.
my fingers are actually tingling.
Yes. And that's not an illness. It's not
No,
neuropathy.
no.
It's not.
It's like they're getting, the fingertips are getting warmer.
So warmer is microcirculation in the blood,
Yeah.
right? That means that nutrients are now getting into the joints, into the fingertips.
You know, somebody once said, I don't remember if this was in one of my courses that I took years ago about Qigong, that it's really one of the best ways of not only relaxing, but also and healing and all the other many properties, but also of strengthening your muscles. Is
So-
that accurate?
Well, okay, so, right, get a little lower. And now you can see we're drawing that energy down through the legs now, more deeply. Getting the message?
Yeah.
So if I have my feet turned out, that's one thing. If I turn my feet in, that's another thing.
Oh.
So this exercise is different muscular.
So you can do both ways?
Yeah, we call muscle trains, anatomy trains, sinew channels in Chinese medicine. A discovery that's pretty amazing, that you can connect the foot all the way up to the head through a sinew channel or a muscle train. And this is an energy pathway that can be treated. It's treated a lot in sports medicine. So
They
and the
use this
Chinese-
in sports medicine?
in Chinese, the Chinese therapy version
Yeah.
will actually address points along a tendon, muscle, sinew channel that will make an injury heal faster.
Oh.
And
Well,
also
that's
you can-
good for all of us,
Yeah, and
not
you
just
can-
athletes.
So if you go the other way, you can prep the person to not have an injury. So all the Chinese gymnastics teams are using some form of Qigong
I see.
warm up and cool down.
So if somebody wanted more information, you know, how, do you have a website that you can send them to?
I practice and teach out of the Mindfulness Center in
Okay.
Bethesda, which is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to training people in these traditions of yoga and mindfulness and
And so how
Tai Chi.
long would one of those classes be? Is it like an
my
hour?
my classes are an hour and 20 minutes at least.
Oh, okay.
So they're a bit longer than the typical class because I believe you need that much time to integrate.
And is it mostly beginners that come, or
all levels.
different levels?
All levels. So
And do you offer it anywhere else? Like I know, like in some places they do. I've heard of Tai Chi in the park, or do they do Qigong?
So you'll find people practicing in the different park areas in Montgomery County. Usually this is kind of an informal practice where people just know where to go and then you follow along.
Okay.
Um,
And if you had like one pearl of wisdom that we can take from this, what would you want to share that with people?
So I would tell you what my Tai Chi teacher told me when he looked at my knee, which he recognized had an injury.
Uh-huh.
He said, keep moving.
Ah!
Right? So keep moving, but move with your breath and move smoothly.
Okay.
These ideas will get you really, really far down the road.
Yes.
You feel it?
Yes, I do. I do. And
Okay, so
I'm
now
interested.
we're gonna close it off by, this is called pulling down heaven. So the energy is coming through the body and like filtering in a French coffee press, like pushing down, get rid of stagnation in the ground,
Okay.
come back up.
So we're going to continue this at home on your own, and we're going to thank Mike for being here today and being our guest and teaching us all about Qigong, giving us a really good overview. And we're going to continue with our next segment of What's Good to Know. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I understand. I know it's not your typical resume.
Okay, well,
But candidate. But I've been working double shifts just to pay for books. I've been raising my 2 little brothers. I'm determined, driven, motivated. Isn't that what you're looking for?
Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent at gradsoflife.org.
Hi, I'm Nira Berry, the happiness coach, and your host of Happy and Healthy. And now it's time for What's Good to Know. And what's good to know is staying positive and reducing your stress. And one of the ways to stay positive is to stay away from being negative. And you've heard the term like say no evil, hear no evil, say no evil. And say no evil is really like not saying gossip, not spreading rumors that may or may not be true, that really can hurt somebody else and maybe damage their reputation. But also when you do that, it really takes a chunk out of you, takes a chunk of your self-esteem and any feelings you may have about yourself. And it also demoralizes other people, and maybe people that hear you gossiping about people may feel that when you leave, that when they leave the room, that maybe you're speaking about them. And so one of the ways to really stop gossiping is to stop spreading it and just keep your lips shut and don't talk about other people. And if you have something to say it directly to the person. Maybe have constructive criticism. And that'll really help rather than telling everybody else what an issue is. And one of the ways to really do that is to really have a good way of feeling about yourself and knowing that you have the self-confidence and not talk badly about somebody else. So stay in the positive and just remember that really the more that you choose to speak really positive about somebody else, to think about what their positive traits are and not the negative traits, will keep you in line and won't come back to haunt you in the future. So think about this and let me know what you think. My name is Nira Berry, the happiness coach, and you can reach me at info@niraberry.com. And you can always get more information on my website at www.niraberry.com. So I look forward to hearing from you, and I hope you have a happy day.